that being said, Alexander Mattison walks into the running back 1 position unless the Vikings were to bring in like Leonard Fournette or Zeke or something, basically replacing one old running back for another. And that old,
with a worse running back.
Yeah, with the worst running back. So I don't think they would be there necessarily to be the belt, to be the 1A. I think that would still be Mattison, and they would be there to spell it. So assuming that's the case, how high does this bump up Mattison in redraft for you?
Madison's one of the rare handcuff backup guys that every time he steps into the main role, save for maybe a game, he does almost what Dalvin Cook will do for your team for fantasy. He's a no-brainer. He's the de facto, you know exactly who it's going to be, again, unless they sign Fournette. Even if they sign Zeke, it's still going to be Mattison for me. So you know who it's going to be. You know the production to expect. You should be drafting him pretty close to where you'd be drafting Dalvin Cook. Like maybe not at the end of round 1, but at the start of round 2 then. That's the gap that should be from Dalvin Cook to Alexander Mattison for me. I do want to touch on Kirk Cousins really briefly because we just have to, because nobody else does. Nobody else talks about Kirk Cousins. Nobody else wants to talk about Derek Carr. These types of quarterbacks are not thrilling for fantasy football. But I think it was Ian Harditz who had tweeted out maybe today, maybe yesterday, the points per game quarterback finish for Kirk Cousins over the last 3 years. Quarterback 12, quarterback 12, quarterback 12. Pencil him in for quarterback 12 again this year. Wait and scoop him up at the tail end of your draft. Live with the value, love the consistency, and fucking enjoy, man. But yeah, for me, Mattison is so close to Dalvin Cook. Are you downgrading him, or are you in line with that? Would you value him close to Cook?
I would value him maybe like 80% of Cook. I don't know. I just, without seeing him for long stretches, we've seen him in short, cleanup work and, the occasional game that Cook would miss. So I don't know. Taking him, say even at the late second round, at the end of the second, seems really rich for me. But if you were to fall to like the end of the third, early fourth, I think that'd be a amazing value. I don't think that will happen though. I think you're more right that it would be kind of in that early second range.
Sure.
I don't know that I could pull the trigger on him in particular that early.
Can I give
and I'm not saying it's a bad move. I wouldn't fault anyone for doing it. Me personally, I don't know that I'm that on board with Mattison over an entire season.
That's fair. I just want to give you his 4 starts that he had in 2021, right? And they were a little spread out, to your point. So they weren't back to back to back to back to back. There was a little bit of space in there. But first game, 26 carries, 112 yards. Also had 8 targets, 6 receptions, 59 yards. Second game, 25 carries, 113 yards, 7 targets, 40 receiving yards. Third game, he had 22 carries, 90 yards, 3 targets, only 34 yards. What a bum. What a goddamn bum this guy is. And then he split a little bit of time in his fourth game, and he only had 13 carries for 41 yards. Still had 4 targets and 29 yards. Like, even at his worst, everybody has bad games. Everybody's kind of whatever. He still finished as a top 15 running back in that kind of down week. So I'm just, as somebody who's been in the system, to me, it's like a Tony Pollard situation, except we've only viewed him as a handcuff from here on out. So I hope that his value is a little bit depressed, but I would draft him comfortably high.